Joining me now to discuss all of this is the Washington Congressman Adam Smith, the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. Representative Smith, you have called on Secretary Hegseth to resign, and you wrote yesterday on social media that, quote, Hegseth's ignorance of how to handle sensitive military information is troubling, not just because of this one operation, but because of what's to come. What's your reaction to this new report in the Wall Street Journal about Hegseth including his wife in multiple high-level meetings where highly sensitive information was discussed?
It is also something that needs to be questioned. Look, throughout this whole process, you've seen that Secretary Hegseth apparently doesn't understand what sensitive information is or the need to protect it. And I think the most troubling thing about this is, it's troubling enough that they had the chat the way they did and everything that went into it. But even more troubling is the fact that they think this is normal. Is claiming that information like this isn't classified or isn't a war plan or isn't sensitive. Because what that says is they think this is stuff that can be shared over these platforms anytime. So what we really need is we need the Department of Defense and the Trump White House to say, okay, we got a problem here. We're going to go in and we're going to look at how we protect this sensitive information. We're going to make changes. We're going to be transparent about it. But look, this is the Trump administration. Trump never does anything wrong, right? This is kind of what an autocracy looks like. No rules, no standards for the people who are in charge. They do whatever they want to do, claim it's right because they're doing it, and tell everyone else to butt out. It leads to all kinds of problems for our country and our government.
Well, speaking of those kinds of problems, it's been reported that the Israeli government is furious that some of the information that was procured from Israeli sources was shared in the Signal chat. What message does it send to our adversaries and our allies if Secretary Hegseth remains at the top of the Department of Defense?
Look, we are alienating all allies and partners, both present and future potential ones, at a record pace in 1,000 different ways. And look, we need partners and allies to meet the challenges that we face in this country. There's a whole bunch of reasons now why those partners and allies are turning away from us, but you identify a really important one. We share information. Certainly with the Israelis, with the Europeans, we have the Five Eyes, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. They are now going to think, can we share our information with the U.S. Without having that information be vulnerable and our sources being potentially at risk? It is going to hurt our ability to get information from allies and partners because they will not trust us to protect it.
So what are the options for us if our allies and our adversaries know that we apparently do not secure this information very well? How are we going to function in a world in which intelligence information is shared and needs to be shared in a rapid way across channels? Like, what's available to us now?
Well, we are going to function less effectively. It's not something that you can easily quantify. In given situations, we can rely on our own intelligence, I suppose. But it's just, you got one less tool in the toolbox. Or, it's like a player on your team that's really important getting hurt, or 2 or 3 players getting hurt. It makes it more difficult to operate. And, there's a whole bunch of big picture things here. I mentioned the autocracy thing. The other thing is, if we take an approach as the U.S. that, we're going it alone and we don't need anybody else, that makes absolutely everything that we do more difficult. And it's wholly unnecessary. Look, President Trump has an attitude that he wants to dominate everybody. That's the whole Greenland thing. Yes, we should do more operations up in Greenland, but we can easily work with Denmark to do that. Denmark is one of our best partners. But what Trump wants to do is he wants to bully the world. He wants to be belligerent and dominant, and that is going to push people away and make us less safe and, crucially, make our country weaker. Look, he's destroying our federal government with all the firings, and I saw some of the stuff that you were talking about, the way he's weakening agency after agency by terrorizing federal employees, firing them, cutting off programs. He's alienating our allies, which makes us weaker and more vulnerable to our adversaries. That's the big thing everybody has to understand. Trump is weakening our country for the sake of his own massive ego and desire to have as much personal power as possible. And that should concern every American way past just what went on in one messed up signal chain around a sensitive military operation.
So I'm wondering about what this means for those who are actually in the enlisted military. As we noted before, there was an advisory issued to members of the Department of Defense advising them not to use Signal. What kind of message does it send to the rank and file, whether in the DoD or in the military itself, that the person at the top of the chain of command is using this app that's been ill-advised by those who should know better?
It makes it very much more difficult. And I've already heard from people at DoD that they got to go back through and try to explain to everyone again, this is what sensitive information is, this is how you're supposed to protect it. So it blows open the rules and it leads people to believe that, maybe the rules are different. So you got to go back and reinforce that. But again, it also means that people serving in the military are thinking, well, maybe there aren't any rules. And the lack of accountability undermines the phrase of unit cohesion. You got to be on the same page about what the rules are. And now we're very much not on the same page about that. And it's going to make it more difficult for everyone serving in the military to go forward. And also it makes you not really trust the leadership. If the rules are different for people up top, then there's a lack of cohesion, a lack of trust, a lack of shared responsibility that's going to make the job for everybody in the military more difficult.
All right. Thank you. Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington State. Still to come, Republicans in Congress are taking aim at the courts, specifically targeting judges who have ruled